Good evening, everyone. Fresh off of last night's race, which was just pure chaos. We've got tonight's race at Armory Digital Superspeedway, which should prove to be just as filled with action as last night's race at Ontario. Be 200 miles at Armory Digital, which will be a 77 lap event. 2017 night, 77 laps. It's kind of neat that it's actually based in Seattle, Washington. I didn't know that. So, local track for me if I was out there racing. As with last night's race, Kellen Oakley came home victorious in quite a barn burner that we had.
Favor, touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Aunt Me Person pulled his sponsorship of Pepsi, so we will have the, starting from this race on, opportunity for the next driver to get Pepsi. In order to do so, they will have to get back-to-back top fives and not be sponsored by a soda company. Most of the drivers that are eligible, there's some that aren't eligible after picking up their primary this past week. So, a bunch of new primary schemes will be getting pumped out. Columbia, James Robert has an opportunity to unlock it if he can come and win this race. And evidently our qualifying's taking a little bit longer here to rack up. Looks like Guido Piano, who set on the pole previously, just last night actually. Those Toyotas seem to be pretty strong when it comes to qualifying. And it looks like our second lap of qualifying has concluded. So I believe Guido Piano is going to get his second pole in a row, which is definitely impressive, being only his third start in the series. Last night's winner, Kellen Oakley, starting 19th. Our newcomer, Austin Mullins, who had a top 5 finish last night, looks like he's going to start deep back in 31st. Taden Berggren, unfortunately, is going to start 32nd. Chadwick, wow, starting 33rd. Ant Meeperson starting 16th. Those two are still only 1 point apart for the points lead.
Touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
So here we go. We're going to get this race underway. My computer has fresh start, so it's not likely that we'll have any troubles since there isn't anything that's been tying up memory. The last few nights I've just left my computer in sleep mode, which was probably my big mistake.
Oh yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Kennedy, you got me? Oh yeah, I got you loud and clear there. That's clear, Jeff, you got me?
Peep on the new scheme there. We got Fastnot in the number 09 DuPont scheme. It looks pretty snazzy out there. Zach Armstrong right there behind him was two-wheeling, skidding across the wall at Ontario last night. It was quite the wreck that he had. Kept going and still finished the race. And the green drops and they're off. Looks like Philip Leeds might be off to the early lead here. Early 3-wide action there as Tim Hansen peeks on the inside. Guido takes the early lead here from Philip Leeds, but it looks like Leeds is going to fight back on the outside. Got a lot of 4-wide action deep in the pack here. Might drop back a little bit and see how this turns out. Tim Hansen seems to be right in the midst of it all. Having dropped down way at the bottom early, and now he's dropping backwards in position. I believe Guido Piano probably led that lap. Ooh, Leeds led it by a hair. This is gonna likely be a photo finish if we're lucky tonight. Roberts, who finished last in last night's race, is running pretty good in the beginning of this race here. And I believe Al Bunch led that lap, but not after Atlee Weiss. Wow, it was so close, it was .00 at the finish line. John Brinker looking pretty good. Now taking the lead from Weiss here. Krista Cower, and then got binned over. Wow, it's going to be almost 4 wide for the lead. 4 wide. 2 abreast, 4 wide. Atlee unfortunately got stuck way up high and had to drop back a little bit there. Now we got Ant Me Person cracking his way into the top 15 already. Binned over led that lap over Krista Cower. Everyone's managed to keep all their wheels under them so far. 5 laps in and no carnage yet. And as we're looking here, last week's winner, Kellen Oakley, is right at the tail end of the field. So he's having a bit of a struggle in the early running of this one. A few more of the new alternate schemes. We've got the Exxon Mobil scheme for Jessica Hergeson. And Tayden Bergen's got the Budweiser scheme tonight. Things are getting a little bit stretched out here as potentially we've got a pair of packs about to form. They're still within the lead draft. They haven't lost touch yet, but we do have a lead pack that's trying to drive away from the second pack here. Currently led by Tristan Reams and Gavin Legend there. We got Tim Hansen and Kinsella Jr. Looks like James Robert led the lap that time over Jordan Walker and Krista Cower. Fourth was Matthew Fastnot, and then Al Bunch in fifth. These guys have caught back up to the lead pack. Lead pack still storming out front there. Just shy of 200 miles an hour around Armory Digital Superspeedway. Looks like Roberts is going to lead this lap again, the next lap. So he's starting to establish his early dominance of the race. Ant Me Person's about to get into the top 5 up there too. Zach Armstrong is one of those drivers that's looking for a good finish tonight. He's been having a rough couple weeks, couple outings he's had where a good finish will make up for a lot of that. Now we had Ant Me Person skimming the wall there. Don't know if he got any damage from rubbing against the wall, but he surely dropped back. He was fighting for a top 5, and now he's outside almost the top 10. amongst our front runners, the guy that has the most to prove would be Ben Dover, who sits 34th in the points. He's only come in as of late in the season, so he's only made 3 of the 8 starts so far. With the limited starts that he's got, he's only been able to accumulate 14 points. A good finish tonight should definitely catapult him up a little bit higher in that standing. Other than that, you got Krista Cower right now taking the lead, and she sits 15th in the points. So a good night for her, might even bump her into the top 10. Then you got drivers like Atlee Weiss, who's consistently about 15th or 16th. And in doing that, he's actually worked his way up to 10th in the points. While everyone else is having a bad day, he's holding serve with pretty good good finishes and whatnot. Last night he finished 11th. Previous race, let's see, 11th, 12th. So even better than that, he's been consistently in the top 15 each week. And he's another one that's managed to start late in the season, so having only run 6 of the 8. And as mentioned earlier, Zach Armstrong is one of those drivers looking for a good finish. Having started all 8 races this season, he's only been able to get up to 22nd in the points. He's had a lot of tough breaks and rough stakes. He might be able to break out tonight and change those odds. So we've got a little bit of separation and some single file running right now at the front as Krista Cower leads over James Robert. And you got Jordan Walker and Al Bunch, Zach Armstrong, Ben Dover, and out of nowhere, Chaz Chadwick has cracked his way into the top 10. Last I saw, he was trapped outside in the high groove. Looks like it's the inverse of that, with Aunt Me Person now stuck on the outside in the high groove, deeper in the pack. Krista Cower leads the lap there, but it looks like she's going to have a lot of hungry trucks there to steal the lead from her, as they're all bunching up, getting ready to draft to the front. Another newcomer in the top of the field here is we've got Jack Davis in the number 17. Tim Hansen and John Brinker are looking pretty good right now too. And before you know it, we're going to have Gavin Legend cracking into the front field as well. He's got that ever so desired inside lane right now. Krista Cower continues to lead out front. Our top two trucks of the night seem to be that of James Robert and Krista Cower so far. With Ben Dover probably coming in a close third, even though he's falling backwards right now. It's kind of interesting. Our title contention is between two trucks that are purple. So if you got some purple on your truck, that must be good luck. Good luck to have a purple truck. Hashtag purple truck luck. Surprisingly, we've had a very civilized race up to this point, closing in on lap 20 of 77, which this is a far cry from last night's race where we had complete and utter pandemonium from start to finish. I was pretty stoked to hit 77 subscribers today. I'm ever closer to 100, which will be a huge milestone for me. I never even thought I'd get 50. So let's see what the back of the field looks like right now. Seems like Brandon Petrolsky has lost the lead draft. David Bird's right there on the tail end. Kellen Oakley is still struggling after having a win last night. Man, a rough outing for Tim Cording as well, who's a top title contender right now. Taden Bergeron's still trying to find some speed in that truck. Still there in the lead draft, so anything's possible here. Atley Weiss was all the way at the front, now he's all the way back here, so anything's possible for any of these drivers. Even Philip Leeds, who is starting on the front row, is dropped all the way back. You got Luis Rodriguez and Paulo Ladino. Braden Hunt. And Ant Me Person still struggling to find his way up there after having a short stint at the front. Mired in the mid-pack here. And then you got Matthew Fastnot, Jack Ross, and John Brinker. Gavin Legend sitting roughly almost completely mid-pack at the moment. Maggie and Tristan having a good run here. Both of them almost in the top 10 as Maggie's just outside, sitting in 12th. And Jordan Walker took the lead that time by. Took the lead from James Robert. Nathan Morgan actually is taking the lead now. Still have a lot of 3 wide and 4 wide action on track. Oh, and Amp Me Person is finding his way back to the front here. Looks like with a little help from Braden Hunt there in the 69 truck. A lot of drivers that haven't been up front all day, just now finding their way, creeping ever so slightly to the front. Chadwick's out there driving like a Chad up front. Man, this points battle is going to be tight all year long, as Ant and Chaz just cannot be separated. A lot of drivers there laying off to avoid going 4 wide into the turn. And that actually kind of drops some of your draft loss. Lost some of the draft there, it looks like. Yep, I'd definitely say our top contenders tonight is Krista Cower, Ben Dover, and James Robert. Zach Armstrong is putting in a really strong outing as well. Jordan Walker seems to be the silent killer because he hasn't had much to show, but he's always up front running. Jordan Walker is 5th in the points, and that's most likely because he's managed to get a lot of top 5s this season. Second last night. The previous race was a top 10. Had a couple other races there. It looked like he had some rough outings, but usually always running up front. We've got the lap traffic of Brandon Petrolsky just in front of the lead pack here. Jack Davis is getting close to the front. This is going to cause trouble. as they pick him up at the wrong spot on track here. Jack Davis cruises out front to the lead. However, the rest of the traffic is trying to find a way around Petrolsky here. Guido Piano gets by and is now in second. We got 4 wide for third place right now, and Jessica Hergeson sneaks through for third. This is the highest she's been all night. I see mention 158,000. I only have 118,000. Where did you get the other 40,000? Ben Dover takes the lead with Tristan Reams right behind. Looks like Krista's found her way back on the inside, so the lap traffic didn't mess up her position too bad. Four wide, 4 wide. Krista is now about to take the lead back from James Robert. And I think we're going to have to start thinking about green flag pit stops here eventually. Probably at about lap 30, 38 to 40 would be my guess. At least they can flip it at midway and go the rest of the way without having any fuel mileage trouble. It's going to be close. We'll see where they have to pit. If they can make it to 38, they should be good. Alrighty, well, we've got ourselves a peculiar situation here, as projected final pit stop of this race will be lap 68 of 77. So some of the drivers that are staying out right now might be able to stretch it to potentially lap 70. Amongst those would be Krista Cower and Jack Davis, along with Ben Dover and a whole pack of trucks behind him. This could be either bad, really bad, or potentially good. At least Krista will have some drafting help out of the pits here, as she's coming with Jack Davis and Ben Dover. The rest of the pitters are now exiting. So yeah, we're going to see the last pit stops will come at about lap 70. We'll have 7 laps to .200 miles will just be a bit too much, it seems. But it'll make for an exciting finish nonetheless. Everyone plays their strategy right, we'll figure out the winner. It'd be crazy if Aunt Me Person finds a way to win another race. Let's see, Krista Cower has come off way in front of the rest of the pack here. She might be able to come out and still maintain the lead if she can get out. Looks like they beat the other pack of trucks that pitted first, so they played that to perfection. And she takes the lead back from Jack Davis, having not, well, let's see, they still have, oh boy, the 41 and the 7 staying out longer than everyone else. So we had a third round of drivers pitting that might even be able to stretch it that much further. These drivers might try to stretch it as far as they can until they run out of fuel. After the pit stops will shuffle out, it looks like, man, James King is now pitting on lap 38. So he could potentially stretch it to lap 76. This will give Krista the lead back, and James King will just have to play the strategy game here if he's going to win it. So as mentioned earlier, our top 3 drivers are still running in the top 5. Add some new players to the game. We've got Jack Davis and Aunt Me Person. And then our second pack is 5 seconds back of this lead group here. You got Guido Piano, Tristan Reams, Al Bunch, Gavin Legend, and Chaz Chadwick. So these two are going to be on the long strategy. We've got James King and Zach Armstrong. Luckily they still have a pair to draft, but that's still much slower than a draft pack. The two of them can draft together and go 190, while the packs can get up to roughly 199. So the long strategy is going to be a hard one to pull off here. We've got various packs scattered across the track here. Taden Bergen's worked his way up to 21st, not half bad. Austin Mullins is running 20th, 22nd, 21st. Braden Hunt leads this pack in 13th place. And you got this pack here led by Gavin Legend, who sits in 6th place. Mixed in is Chaz Chadwick, Atlee Weiss, Tristan Reeves, Guido Piano, Al Bunch, and Philip Leeds. All in the meanwhile, we still have Krista out front leading as 2nd, 3rd, and 4th continually shuffle. James Roberts about to take the lead here and lead for his first time since the green flag pit stops. But Krista manages to strong arm her way back through in front. James Robert falls all the way back to 5th. Jack Davis, who's also a recent newcomer to the series. A good finish here will move him up in the standings for sure. Seems like NASCAR Racing 2003 don't discriminate. If you're a new driver, usually you do pretty well. In the 12 years that I've run my Cup Series, it always seems like whenever I make a brand new car, put it out on track, that driver will either win a race or consistently do well enough to have a good points finish at the end of the year. For example, many of my season openers have been won by drivers winning their first race ever. So it just goes to show that when you get a new vehicle built, I don't know if there's something to it, but NASCAR Racing 2003 tends to favor those brand new vehicles. Jack Davis here going for the lead, and it looks like he's going to maintain the lead and do so. Three wide in the back for second, as Ben Dover might get all three there. And he's not finished as he's going to fight for the lead on Jack Davis. Seems like the drafting help from Ant Me Person is a godsend. Bend over to the lead. And the lap traffic seems to have merged in just fine with the lead pack here, as Zach Armstrong and James King seem to only be helping this lead pack. Ant Me Person didn't want to settle for second there, as he's going to get to the lead now. Krista Cowers back on the inside, so she's got the preferred line there. And Ant Me Person will lead this lap, it looks like. Nope, actually Ben Dover leads the lap as he fights back on the outside. A lot of back and forth for the lead. But now, Ant Me Person looks like he might be the sole possessor of the lead for a while here. Ben Dover won't go away, but likely Me Person's going to lead this lap around. Ben Dover gets pushed way out high as it's 4 wide in the back there. Jack Davis lays off and thinks better of it to avoid any kind of collision. The problem now is he might have lost the lead draft here. Seems our lead pack has caught another couple lappers as Finn Dover is going to inherit the lead now. James Robert and Krista Cower will come out second and third on the ordeal. And Jack Davis fourth and Amp Me Person back to fifth. Krista goes way low there on the inside and has to lay off a little bit as she gets pushed below the double line there on the track. James Robert, Finn Dover, Krista Cower, and Jack Davis. And our lap traffic's actually all running just as well at the front as they were a lap down. Goes to show you that their trucks obviously have the speed, but their pit strategy put them in a bad position. Coming towards the closing segment of this race, it looks like it's about a 5-truck fight. Still not certain how the pit stops are going to play out here. Krista's back out front with Amp Me Person fighting to take it from her. Our second pack of drivers being led by Guido Piano right now. It looks like Chaz Chadwick's fallen back to 11th. Gavin Legend seems to stay roughly in the top 10 this whole time. And as I mentioned that, he drops outside into 11th. Taden Bergeron's worked his way up to 18th. Austin Mullins has worked his way up to 16th. Maggie Reams right now holds down the third pack of drivers there in 13th place. "63 laps and we still haven't seen a wreck." A little bit of a recap if anyone else has just tuned in. Our top 3 drivers all night have been James Robert, Krista Cower, and Ben Dover. With your title contender, Aunt Me Person, working his way into the top 5. And surprise newbie Jack Davis holding his own with these top runners as well. Chris gets shuffled out high here with some of the lap traffic on the inside, and Ben Dover takes advantage of this to not quite get the lead as Krista fights back on the high side and dives right back in front. That Toyota is showing some substantial strength this evening. James Roberts likely licking his chops. Wow, I couldn't have said that any tongue twister. Licking his chops where he's running in third there. If he could win this race, he'll end up with Columbia as the sponsor. Big redemption from last week after finishing dead last. Even to have a top 5 finish would be a win for him. closing in. We got 10 laps to go here. And there's still a cloud of uncertainty as to whether these guys will have to pit with about 5 laps to go. Bindover will lead lap 68 here. We got Amp Me Person pitting on lap 68, so he's your first driver not able to make it all the way to the end here. It looks like a very lonely pit road for Amp Me Person, which is definitely a nail in the coffin for his race this evening. He'll come back out with no draft help and lose any potential at winning this race. Krista and the rest of the top contenders better come in all together. Looks like Roberts couldn't make it. He's pitting on lap 69 here. So this is where everything's going to get all turned upside down. Because I think James King running right there at the moment might be your best potential winner of the race if he can make it all the way without pitting. And if we get another caution, that would totally screw it all up too. Your best driver on the night's likely not going to win it, as it looks like Kellen Oakley's pitting. Krista Cower stays out with Bindover, so we've still got 2 of the top 3 out front here, but I don't know. It's not going to work in their favor, I imagine. The only way this will work out is if everyone comes down pit road, and I don't believe everyone's going to end up coming down pit road. The only nice thing for Krista is she can come down for a quick pit stop as long as she don't flat spot the tires, get some gas, and come back out as quickly as possible. As we've got our 1-2 drivers coming to pit now. We're going to keep our eyes on them and see just how it turns out. We've got 5 laps to go. Guido Piano takes the lead on lap 72 here. Quick gas. Let's see. Gas and go. Yep, gas and go for Krista Cower there. Bindover did beat her off pit road. Last time they did this, they were able to come out and maintain the lead position over the others that pitted. That's definitely not in question. It's going to be whether everyone else pits. And hopefully we don't get another caution too. Krista's going to have to find a way to get back by Ben Dover if she wants to win this race. Looks like Paulo Ladino ran it out of gas as he's been coasting on the inside. Doesn't bring out the caution. So we're good to go there. At the finish line, let's see who's still running. Guido Piano, and he must have pitted, so I don't think anyone that stretched it was going to stretch it. Or if they did, they were out too long and lost too much momentum because well, there you go. James King, the one that could have potentially made it to lap 76, is pitting on lap 73. Thought better of it than to stretch it and run out of gas on the last lap. Everything shuffles back out to where we've got our top 5 contenders still within reach here. Minus Aunt Me Person, who's fallen back to 10th. So it's a 4-truck fight now, actually, between James Robert, Krista Cower, Jack Davis, and Ben Dover. And just shy of 3 laps to go, we're going to see who can come out victorious amongst this crowd here. Krista's been taking full advantage of the outside line all night. Seems to be the happy spot for her truck. And even so, she takes the lead from James, doing so on the high lane. Jack Davis looks like he picked up on that, and he's trying to make the same move. Two laps to go. James Robert takes the lead back from Krista. These guys are dicing it up front. Krista back to the lead, as Robert's got some lap traffic in his way. All the lap traffic there is helping Krista drive away from the other 3. Jack Davis, now your second place driver, followed by Ben Dover and James Robert. This would be a momentous victory for Krista Cower. White flag, this time by. And Krista has a at least 0.2 second lead over Jack Davis there in second. Davis wants to make a move for the lead here and does so. I wouldn't count Ben Dover out of this. As we've got the new trucks fighting for the lead here. Ben Dover and Jack Davis. We might possibly have a tight finish at the front of the field here. The finish line's a little bit further than most tracks, kind of like Talladega. And I don't think Krista Cower is going to give up. Oh! Jack Davis takes home the victory over Krista by 0.02 of a second. That high lane was not enough to win the race for Krista, unfortunately, but still, a second place is not a bad finish at all. Third place was James Robert. Ben Dover came home in 4th, even though it looked like he was going to try to take the win there at the end. Chadwick comes home with the top 5 out of a dismal second half of this race for him. Atlee Weiss with a 6th. Guido Piano with a 7th. Tristan Reams with an 8th. Philip Leeds with a 9th. Tim Hansen, Al Bunch, Gavin Legend, Jessica Hergeson, Aunt Me Person coming home 14th. Maggie Reams 15th. Then we got Austin Mullins, Jack Ross, Braden Hunt, Trevor Walker, Kinsella Jr., Nathan Morgan, Tayden Berggren, Tim Cording, David Bird, and Louis Trost to round out your top 25. Unfortunately, Zach Armstrong struggled to have a good finish yet again, coming home 1 lap down in 31st. Got another caution-free race in the USA Truck Series. We went 77 laps, no wrecks, and Jack Davis comes home the victor. Wraps up another frantic week for the USA Trucks as we had last night's race at Ontario and tonight's race at Armory Digital. Eight races. We're closing in on almost halfway through the season already. It's been a frantic 8 races, that's for sure. James Robert just came up a little bit shy on delivering on getting that Columbia sponsorship there. Next week's driver that's going to be in contention will be Brandon Petrolsky. Kellen Oakley missed out on that by just 1 position, having finished winning last week to damn near dead last this week. So that definitely hops up onto the top of the list of close finishes in the Truck Series. Another new winner on the season, and only his 3rd or 4th start coming home with that win. So thanks again everyone for tuning in. I think we had most of the problems solved from the beginning since I killed Google Chrome before I even started streaming. So hopefully that resolves any issues in the future. We've got our Busch Lights, Busch League series tomorrow. Same time as tonight roughly. It'll be a little bit earlier, maybe at around 7. Maybe even 5:30, because then I might be able to run the cup race right after. So hope everyone has a good night and catch you on the flip side. This is Jakester signing out.